So, welcome back to another episode of the Heal Sis podcast. I am your host, Coach K, and today I got my fam, Mississippi fam, in the house. My auntie, the one and only Dr. Tanya, or Dr. T, Dr. TK, as I like to call her. So, thank you so much for being here today. Because, here at Heal Sis, we really tell women that healing is not an option, it's required. And also, it is not only your responsibility to heal, but it's also your duty to heal. So, Dr. TK, could you please introduce yourself to our Heal Sis audience? What's your name, your occupation, and your business or brand?
Good morning. Thank you for having me, Coach K. I can't call you what I want to call you, but okay. My name
You
is Tanya
can.
McCaskill. I am a nurse practitioner out of Memphis, Tennessee. The name of our practice is Triumph Agility Care, where we provide primary care and physical therapy to our patients. We are currently taking patients. So if you want to come see us, please come on board and see us. But I do agree with you. Healing starts is not something optional. It is something that we have to do if we want to stay here. And for women, we just carry the weight of the world on us and don't realize that stress also present those other illnesses as well.
Yes,
So,
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So I'm glad that's kind of a good segue into my next question about what led you to this specific career and to your business.
um, well, I've been in a medical professional for over 20 years. And it started when I was a little girl, when I was like 8. I actually had on-the-job training. My grandmother was sick, so I took care of my grandmother until she passed away. And so it was, like I said, pretty much on-the-job training. I knew that's where I wanted to be. Medical professional, it is a calling. It is not something that you go into lighthearted. Most people get into it, oh, the money, money, money. Trust me, there's no money in it. You have to have the calling on your life. And for me, that has been my ministry. It's kind of healing people, talking to them about different things. I believe in a holistic healing process.
Oh,
If you fix your mental, your spiritual, your body kind of start repairing itself. Now, don't get me wrong, there are some illnesses that require medication, and we do give medications for that. But we look at the root cause. What is really causing this problem? Is it stress? Is it genetics? Genetics we can't fix. Lifestyle changes we can. Weight loss, mental clarity, exercise, eating right. So they kind of led me down this path and kind of open up our business. I have a business partner. Her name is Dr. Tamara Jackson. She's a physical therapist. And so we just saw that in our community, the African American community, we have a lot of healthcare disparity. So our goal is kind of led by God is let us heal your people. We want to heal your people. Tell us the people that you want us to heal. Let us treat the people that you want us to treat them the way that you want us to treat them. So we can start bringing our African American population healing because we don't get the care that we need. We overlook because they want to label us and things like that. And I had a personal experience about 2 years ago when we relocated back to Mississippi. My husband fell ill, and I literally had to argue with the hospital about what was wrong with my husband. They didn't know my background, but because they saw African American male that had locks, they automatically did a drug test on him. This man has served 20 years for the United States in the military. Do not drink, do not smoke, would not do drugs at all. But because they felt that he was just too young to have a heart attack, they did a drug test because it had to be drug induced.
mm.
So I was like, yeah, our people not getting the care that they need. And the people that don't have that advocate, I want to be their advocate for them. Like, hey, this is what's going on with you. This is people you need to see. This is what you need to ask for when you go to these doctors or these other specialties. So,
Amen. That's so powerful because people who are outside of the community, our community, don't really understand that, especially in America because there's so many other, we're a melting pot of people.
Right.
So there are many people that try to diminish that. And it's so important to understand that, like you said, it's not just the art, it's not just people giving people medicine to make them feel better or just take away the pain. It's actually a healing gift that you have to have. It's
Right.
a awareness of people and communication and listening to people, because the body, and I remember my grandma, Dr. Wesley, Dr. Blanche, telling me this. She was like, the body is gonna tell you what it needs.
Mm-hmm.
It just depends on you whether you're gonna listen or not.
Exactly.
And to have somebody that in the medical field that's guiding you through their practice, it's like really heartening to see,
Mm-hmm.
because you hear all these horror stories, and especially with the revelation of the pharmaceutical game that we've been seeing, people have started to have a mistrust in
Mm-hmm.
the medical community. So I commend you, and I'm just happy to know that you are one of the people out here that, and women of Black women out here, actually making sure that our community is served, and not just only our community, but even in lower income
Exactly.
communities, the types of stereotypes that are placed on people who are just really good, hardworking people and
Yes.
honest people that aren't getting the care they need because people feel like their life doesn't have value.
Right. And that's another thing too. It's not just our African American, it's the low socioeconomic people as well. I've encountered those people that they they have a lot of medical issues, but because of their social status, they get overlooked
Mhm.
and they don't have an advocate for them as well. I remember early on into my, well, I can't even say early on, throughout my nursing career, if we got what they call a VIP patient. Oh, we got this patient on service. Treat them like this. I said, I treat all my patients the same. Now, if you want extra treatment, you need to get another nurse in there because I can't do it. All of them will be treated equally. I say I don't make a difference in what social status they come from, the color of their skin, or anything like that. They will be treated equally with the utmost respect. So I see a lot of that across the board too.
Amen. It was the same way in education, believe it or not, in teaching. That's why I was like, I don't care. I don't care whose parents got money, who's don't. That's not how we roll over here. And
Right.
that's just the environment that I guess, our family and communities have grown up in, where it's just like you're gonna treat the janitor and the CEO with the same level of respect.
Exactly. Exactly.
So when it comes to the medical field and this healing that you do, what are you most passionate about?
Um, Making sure that they get the appropriate treatment. Um, I've been seeing a lot, hypertension, cardiovascular is like the number one killer for us.
Mm.
It goes so untreated. And I've encountered a lot of elderly patients to come in, and I can't even say elderly, more mature population, like in their 60s and 70s, never seen a cardiologist, and they have high blood pressure. And I'm like, why you haven't seen a cardiologist and you have hypertension? So my passion comes in educating people on how to be advocates for their health care. So I'm big on making sure that you stand up for yourself. I'm gonna use my mom as a prime example. She gonna kill me later on, but anyway, um,
I
she
didn't know it.
she called me yesterday, and she was like, um, so nobody's called me back about my lab work from a doctor. So what I need to do? Call your doctor. Don't call me. I'm not your doctor. Call your doctor. And I had certain labs wrong. What does that lab? I said, why you didn't ask your doctor? They didn't tell me anything. I said, the key is asking. If you don't know an answer to a question, ask.
Yes.
So we can get the informed information on, so you can make that informed decision on what you want to do. So my passion is people, healing people, educating, empowering them to become leaders and advocates of their healthcare.
Yes. Yes, I definitely agree because I think when you come from marginalized communities, your voice has been squelched down for so long that when it comes to advocating for yourself, or especially with Black women, we got it bad. Like learning how to speak up and stand up for yourself. It's it can be difficult sometimes.
Yes.
And putting yourself first. And that's why like I had to when I realized that I never had blood pressure problems. I always knew when I came my checkup every year when my mom told me I was going to be good. I went through college. And then when I was 28, my blood pressure was crazy. It was crazy. And I'm like, I'm still healthy. I'm a coach. And then you remember my dad's cousin,
Mm-hmm.
Dwayne, had passed away in front of his basketball team.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, teaching and educators that I see go through, and people that are in the community and ministry, and people that are really servants to other people, you see these alarming rates of hypertension and and just high blood pressure and those types of things, those stress related illnesses. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like it's really something that I don't think we address enough because people
Right.
think, oh, they just had a heart attack because of how they eat, how they lifestyle. Now, it's
Right.
people who are completely healthy, who on paper, you will look at them and they're working out, they're eating all these great things, they're doing all things they're supposed to, and they're dropping dead like that because of a
Mm-hmm.
heart attack, because of cardiac arrest, because of all these stress related things they're not dealing with.
Right.
So, um, I just love talking to you about this stuff. We be tag teaming my mama when I come down there.
I know. She's talking about this intervention. Yeah, I'm off the clock, but since you
Absolutely. Absolutely.
right. um Again, to education, like when they on my first initial encounter with any patient, I have a panel of labs that I draw, which
Mhm.
include my CBC, CMPs, and my lipid, which is a cholesterol panel. So I'm checking that because 9 times out of 10 they haven't had that check. 9 times out of 10 it comes back elevated. And so for my patients that's like, oh, I don't want medication, good, let's start making lifestyle changes. Let's do modifications. But you're gonna have to come back and see me. And if I redraw and if the lab is still out of whack, you get on medication. But in the meantime, I'm also sending them to a cardiologist because they're not having their heart checked. If they're not coming to see me on a regular basis, they're not going to see a specialist. So
Yes, that's definitely true. And what are some like you talk about lifestyle changes a lot. What are some small lifestyle changes for somebody who might be considering just general things that people could do to start making more mindful lifestyle changes? Because some people hear that and they're like, oh, I got to go on a diet. And I know that's not
no,
what you mean, but
no,
a lot of
no.
people, that's the misconception.
Right.
So what do
Good,
you mean by lifestyle changes for our viewers?
good question. And I don't like to use the word diet because when we use the word diet, we start taking everything out.
Yeah.
And then we go back to eating everything that we took out and we gain the weight that we lost plus additional weight. So for me,
Mhm.
lifestyle changes. If you just start, and I tell all my patients, walk 5 minutes a day, become more active. Um, if you're going to Walmart, don't try to park at the front door like I do.
Mhm.
Try to get a park away. Becoming more active. 9 times out of 10, the world has become so technology driven to be in front of the computer. We on our cell phone. Even with my son, I'm like, okay, let's get up and do something.
Mhm.
And it kills him to do anything. I'm like, let's go walk. If you just walk at least 5 minutes a day, or the weather is not conducive to you walking, walk around your house, make a couple of laps around the house. And I know that sounds crazy, but just get up and start moving. Once you start moving, you actually gonna start feeling better.
Mhm.
Far as dietary changes, I would say increase your water intake. Make small things like that. Increase water intake. Start cutting back on like your sodas, taking that out. Decreasing your bread intake. Like I'm not telling you to go cold turkey. Oh, I can't have bread here. I can't have bread there. But just start limiting. Start cutting back on things. If you know you get your plate, you pile that plate up, and you going back for a second, Don't go back for that second plate. Because at that point it becomes your body has gotten used to, oh, I gotta eat, I gotta eat. No, don't go back for the second plate. Eat that first plate. Now, if you just put like a small portion of food on that plate, then go back and get another small portion. That's not saying pile your plate up with more food, but increasing your water, start walking at least 5 minutes a day. If you can't get outside and walk around the house.
Yes.
If
And
you
I
have
want you to talk about the non-eaters too. Because
that
I know I
is
got
just as bad.
viewers out there that are the non-eaters. You know who I'm talking about.
Yes, that is just as bad when you don't eat. Because at that point, your body is working off that stored fat that you have, and it's causing you to gain more weight. It causing you to ache. My rule of thumb, if you miss breakfast, eat a little snack in between, a healthy snack, like maybe an apple or a protein shake if you make protein shakes of your own. But at the same time, you have to be mindful of the sugar content that you put in there. You got to have something to get the metabolism going. Not eating slows down the metabolism, and it makes you feel horrible because you start having those mood swings. I like to call it hangry because I get hangry when I don't eat. Mood swings. Then when you do eat, you're going to eat too much, and then you're going to be sick. So you got to find that healthy balance. If you skip breakfast, most definitely eat lunch and then eat dinner and eat a snack in between. I would suggest eat like 3 small meals before the people that don't eat breakfast, because I rarely eat breakfast myself, but I will eat like a healthy snack in between my lunchtime. Or I might take my lunch a little bit earlier. But eating speeds up your metabolism.
Yes. Yes, definitely. And she know who we talking to when I post it.
And I've gotten on her about non-eating too. So yeah. Eat.
But back to
Oh,
the
one more thing.
mindfulness.
Energy drinks. A lot of people like to say, oh, I want to have an energy drink, or I'm taking a supplement. Be mindful of that, what you're putting into your body. Read your ingredients on there, because some of this stuff have caffeine, and that caffeine is not good for your heart.
Yes.
Yes. Some of them have high sugar carbs intake. That's not good for you. So just be mindful of what you're taking in.
Yes. And one way that I noticed when I started having the stress related issues, started getting more into my herbal teas. Because it really started making me breathe, because something about like the warmness of the tea and the herbs just kind of like allows you, because I didn't realize for a long time how much I was holding my breath. And people don't realize like that's how you can constrict your body as well. Not when you're always in a state of anxiety or stress or feeling like you have to get things done, and then it not happening. You always live in this. I mean, imagine if you're like that on the outside, imagine what it looked like on the inside.
And my goal is to self-care. We as women, we take on so much. We take on everybody's problems. We take on our children problems, our husband problems, our parents problems, our cousins problems, our friends problems, our problems, the work problems. We take all of that in, and some of us don't have an outlet. But spend at least 30 minutes a day to decompress. Like you say, drinking your herbal tea. Just take a time out, go by yourself. If it's in another room.
And don't bring the
place.
phone.
Right, a good place to go, your bathroom. Ain't nobody gonna come in there and bother you in your bathroom.
Men do it.
Right, exactly.
They will stay in there for an hour till you gotta come check on them. Like, I gotta use the bathroom.
Exactly. Yeah, so just get away from everything. Decompress by 30 minutes, and that will kind of help you kind of recenter as well.
And I wanted to bring up this point too, because you are the mother of a teenager.
Yes.
Now, and you were bringing up how you have to literally, this generation, Gen Z, Gen A, they're a little different. I remember when you had the puppy, hen, we was playing in the backyard with the dog. Like
Mm-hmm.
we still went outside. But this generation is a lot more digitized.
Yes.
And even as a parent, having the awareness of your child's health, because I've noticed that in working in high school, especially with teenagers, parents often forget that these are the last years before you send them out in the world, not only with, the moral compass that you gave them, but the health choices. Because when they get to college or go to the military, they need to know the nutritional choices they need to make. So can you talk more about things that you do or you would recommend for parents of teens to just help them incorporate a healthier lifestyle for parents dealing with teens?
So this is gonna be more of a do as I say, not as I do, because I had to literally choke my child moment. So I had to stop buying all the snacks, keeping all the snacks in the house. Because if I had snacks in his house, he would eat all the snacks in one day.
Mm.
So I took out snacks and started replacing them with healthy foods like fruits. Now here go to my fruit too. So I'm like, no, save some for another day. So just kind of cut back on your snacks, cut back on your sodas, juices. Juice have a lot of sugar in it.
Mm.
If you can get some that's low in sugar, low in carbs, and bring that into the house and kind of limit it on what they're taking, get them out being more active. That is a battle in itself with my son. He would not go. I can go walking. He would not come walking, but he will go in the room and he will lift weights. So anything that get them active, yard work get them more active as well. Um, we have him out there pushing the lawnmower. We got the push lawnmower for him, the ride lawnmower for his dad. So he gets the push lawnmower. They kind of get them working out too. Um, if they like to play basketball, get a basketball goal or have them go friends that's very active. That would kind of help influence them to become more active. But for the nutritional value, start taking out those snacks. Start cooking healthy choice meals at home. Even if you eat out, make them be more mind conscious of choosing more healthy meals for them. My son now, when we go, if they have salmon on the menu as opposed to a burger, he's gonna get that salmon. He's not gonna get that burger. Now he loves salads. If they like salads, fix some salads. Have them fix salads. The more we cook at home, it takes out all those preservatives that we get outside in those restaurants because we don't know what they put in their food. But the thing is, we are a fast-paced world, meaning that we're constantly on the go, constantly on the go. We don't have the home cooked meal like we used to when we were growing up. We quick to stop at McDonald's, Chick-fil-A, or places like that. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but don't eat that every day. That's when the
Yeah.
obesity starts setting in. Believe it
Yeah.
or not, our teenagers can have high blood pressure. They can have strokes. They can have heart attack. So we have to
I've
start.
seen it in teenage.
Yes,
I've seen it as a teacher. It's with some of the scariest stuff to deal with, and you don't notice and you just trying to teach Shakespeare.
exactly. And you looking over there, your child is laid out. You're like, what is going on? Or diabetes. So just be mindful. And I encourage everyone to be more involved in their child life. My child is 15 years old, and he would tell you now, and he's a boy. I would say, let me see your phone. Because we have cyberbullying and we have other kids that's bullying, and these kids' peer pressure is completely different from our peer pressure. So they have a lot of mental stuff that they're holding in with them too. So it's not just adults. And then we tend to take the voice from our kids because we grew up, oh, you can't say that, that's being disrespectful. No, give them the voice so they can know when they get out in the world, they're not up under your care, not up under your protection, how they can speak for themselves, how they can speak up and let people know, I'm not feeling comfortable in this situation.
Yes.
You can talk to an adult in a respectful manner and disagree with them in a respectful manner. You don't
Yeah.
have, so just be mindful, be more involved with our kids. Our youth is our future, and if we're not grooming them and shaping them now mentally, physically, more so spiritually, then we're lost.
Amen to that.
So,
That's gonna hit somebody hard when this get posted, because that's a lot of stuff that we done dealt with in education now. It goes back to parenting. It doesn't matter about the village you got around them if the parenting is not at least conducive to that type of environment, to make
right.
sure we're creating respectful adults who can function in society.
Exactly.
And like
Exactly.
you said, peer pressure is a whole different thing for them, because what they get on the internet now, the type of role models they have to look up to now, it's a lot of spiritual warfare.
Yes. Yes. And people don't want to see that. Well, they see it, they don't want to understand and don't want to acknowledge it. But most of the stuff that we're dealing with, like you said, is a spiritual warfare.
Yeah. And
Like
who does
we,
it come after first and the hardest? The children,
right.
because it's easy. They're still malleable.
Yes.
And that's something that, like you said, that goes with that holistic health, where it comes with healing starts with the woman. It starts with the mother,
Mm-hmm.
because you are dedicated to your healing journey in all aspects.
Right.
Then that is what you're going to pass on to your child.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a lot of people that are holding trauma. And I was speaking with somebody else on another interview who's also a doctor, and she was talking about how stored trauma can manifest in disease.
Yes.
And people don't talk about that either. And all types of diseases, physical and mental
Mm-hmm.
diseases. It can literally offset the balance and the chemical structure of your body. Like,
Exactly.
God literally designed us with every intention in mind. Like,
Mm-hmm.
all things work together. That is literally the basis of who we are as the beings that he loved the most and created and made in his image.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you for that. Thank you for just being a parent committed to the consciousness of your teenager. Because sometimes with teenagers, they feel like, some parents feel like now it's time for me to take my hands off, and that's really the time where they need you the
We
most.
need you the most. Yes. Yes. Uh, Especially the high school years. Um, actually start as a child. I remember when my child was a baby. I never spoke to him in baby talk because I always wanted him to have the intellect. So we would have full conversation. So when he was 2, he was having full conversation.
Yes, and he's so articulate.
Yeah, because I
He
do not.
is. He's
I was
gonna
like,
let
no, we're
you
not talking to him in
know.
baby talk. So
He's going to let you know what it
yes,
is.
and that was a battle too because some things I've always raised him like you have to have a voice. I was like, even with me, I'm your mom, but I still want you to come to me and let me know if I said something that was made you feel a certain way or you feel like it was disrespectful. Because you gotta respect your kids.
Hmm.
Just like they respect you, you gotta respect them. They're a
Hmm.
person too. They have feelings too. I know a
Hmm.
lot of us be like, no, that you're gonna do what I say do. Don't do this because I said so. As a child, that irked my living soul. I want to know why I can't do this. Don't tell me because I can't do so. So I try to take that into consideration too. Now, mind you, my child is very respectful and mannerable because he know his mama don't play. But at the same time, we will have conversations. We'll sit down and say, come on, son, let's sit down and talk.
Yes.
How's everything going? Are you okay in the home? My parenting skills, have they offended you anyway? Or what do I need to do to improve that where we can have a better relationship? And so we have those conversations.
That's so refreshing to
Yeah.
hear, because
Yeah.
you see opposite ends of the spectrum, and
Yes,
people are realizing it requires balance.
it does.
Because there are parents that I've seen on the other side, this gentle parenting movement, where they let their kids have a voice, but it's a very rude, disrespectful, and entitled voice.
No.
Y- But you know what I'm talking about.
Right. I know. Yeah.
And then you see kids on the other end of the spectrum whose parents don't allow them to have any voice, that do it
Mm-hmm.
so say as I do it. And so there's no understanding. So they send this kid out in the world to figure out a lot of the world on their own. And that leads them to influence in people who don't really mean them well, and
Mm-hmm.
can lead them on a different path, because they never really had a full understanding. Because God doesn't put us through situations in our life for us to keep them to ourselves. Now granted, it's certain stuff age appropriate that you got to know. But when
Right.
you start seeing patterns and stuff pop up, that's when, like, the Holy Spirit and your antennas be poking up and be like, okay, this is a ministering moment. This is a
Right.
moment for
Exactly.
communication and
Excuse me.
understanding,
Right.
and for us to come to a understanding together.
Yes.
So I just value you so much, TT.
Thank you, Nisi.
Thank you so much for always believing in me and being here. It's an honor to be able to interview you today. So I have a question. Do you have a website or a way people can contact you if they want to know more about your services and products?
We do have a website. It is www.triumphagilitycare.net.
All right.
Yeah, so it's pretty much the name of the company, .net.
Okay, repeat it again for the people who might not be able to hear.
www.triumphagilitycare.net. And
All
our
right.
phone number, if you call, if you don't want to get on a computer, you can always call and someone will answer. Is 901-205-9534. So
Again.
901-205-9534.
Thank you so much, because we have I serve a community sometimes that just now figured out how to operate YouTube,
Yeah,
so they might need
that
to
would be
hear that
me.
number again.
That would be me.
I love y'all though.
Yes,
That's why I want to make sure everybody got it. If you ain't got it the first time, you got it the second. Welcome,
yes,
welcome, welcome. So,
yes.
thank you so much. I hope you have an amazing day and a wonderful Christmas. Hopefully, I get to see y'all for Christmas when we come back to Mississippi. I know people are probably listening and like, oh, they got that Mississippi accent, but I don't hear it. It's just,
Yes, and I sound worse on video. And Kim was like, "Oh my God, I sound so country. Do I sound like that for real?"
wow. Everybody loves that Southern Belle, Mississippi girl charm. They love it. They
Yes,
love it. That's why they always calling it out,
that's
because
what
they
it
want
is.
to
Yes,
Yes. So thank you. Go ahead and give my uncle and my cousin a big hug for me,
I
and just
will.
have a wonderful day. And for my viewers out there, remember, healing is not an option. It is required, sis. So it is your responsibility and your duty to go out and heal, sis. So see y'all
Thank you,
later.
Nisi, for having me.
All right. Thank you.
All right,
Bye.
bye bye.